Hi, welcome to Real Talk Show. This is where we dream it, we believe it, and achieve it. Thank you once again for tuning in. If you're new in this segment, karibu sana. If you're part of our Real Talk Show family, thank you for tuning back in. May God bless you. May God empower you this Tuesday in Jesus' name. I hope you had a wonderful week, and I know you'll be blessed today. Today is a Tuesday, and Tuesday we tell story. We talk about anything. As if you're part of family, you know we talk about anything in this segment. So today I want to talk about the untold truth about me, the untold truth about Reverend Rahab Mwangi. So in my experience, telling the story or telling my story, you think you can't. I think it makes me feel free. It makes people get empowered. My story, I believe, in most time that I've given my testimony or my story, people give me feedback of how they've been empowered, they've been inspired, they've been impacted, inspire and touches lives. So today, for maybe I can just share a little story, share the untold story that I've never told anybody. So at least you can be empowered, or you can even know how to pray for your children. You can know how to go on about it. I'm Reverend Rahab, as you all know. I was born in a place called Busia. I was born in is a border between Uganda and Kenya. So after that, we moved to a place called Nairobi. I was raised in Dandora. Dandora is a slum, is a ghetto area, and in that place where I was raised, I went to a school called Mwangi Primary School, and after that, I shifted and I was taken to another school called City Day Academy, and I didn't stay there for some time in Mwangi, but I stayed in City Day for some time. So growing up as a young girl, it was not easy, especially my parents. It came to a place now my parents had to, they were not around. They were not around. So it was like I was raising myself as a young girl. I was raising, with my older brothers, which already they were young as well. So it was a kid raising kids, which was okay because I understand my parents had moved to abroad to go to get, a good life for us, and that's why we are here. So I grew up in Dandora. If you don't, Dandora is a place where crime is high. Dandora is a place where it's just a place where nobody would like to grow up in terms of crime. In terms of crime, so so when I say that I'm most afraid to say, I find it greater freedom and comfort in my own skin. I find it so comfort, speaking about my story. When I say what I think I can't, that's when people come to me and acting as a a mouthpiece, So I thank God. So after growing up, life now became a big girl. I started knowing right and wrong. But you need to understand, it came to a place in my life. People used to tell me I'm beautiful. People used to love me. I used to have favor from friends. I used to be surrounded by friends, people. But it came to a place in life now. I started feeling like I didn't believe, as much as people told me I'm beautiful. One time I thought I'm ugly. I used to hate myself. I used to reject myself. I used to feel that I'm so ugly. You need to understand. I've shared a testimony somewhere where about my ear. I have a mark on my ear. And those days when you're growing up, we didn't have weave to cover. Right now I can cover it because I have weave on. But those days, you didn't have those things. So every time people ask you, oh, what happened to your ear? What happened to your ear? I will give a testimony about that another time. But I had to go to hospital, and I was surrounded with 250 doctors just to look after me. I went for, a crazy moment. But that's another testimony for another time. So everybody used to ask me all the time, oh, what's wrong with your ear? Out of good faith, out of good heart, they were concerned. But to me, it used to affect me. Every time you ask me that, my self-esteem goes down. So I used to think I'm this ugly girl. I never believed in myself. People would tell me I'm beautiful, and I'm like, no, they don't know what they're talking about. So I grew up with that, and I remember growing up as a young girl, I attempted suicide 3 times. 3 times I attempted suicide. And maybe you're there, you're wondering, why would a beautiful girl like you, think you're ugly? Why would you attempt suicide? And that's what we were talking about, destiny helper the other time. Who is your destiny helper? I remember when I was going to commit the 3 suicide, the people who used to call me, I never used to tell them I'm going to kill myself. It was at the age of 14. One time I went to school, and I woke up, I had this thought like, I'm tired of life. I'm going to kill myself. I'm tired of life. And I went to school, and guess what? One of my friends started talking about killing, about suicide. And I'm like, maybe this is God. Maybe this is God. And she started telling me, if you go to the bathroom, and put the what's it called, hair dryer on, and put inside and put it on, it will electrify, and you somebody can die. And in my mind, I'm like, I've not told anybody I want to die. I've not told anybody how I feel. How come she's telling me this story? So I've kind of felt like maybe it's my time. I was with the wrong friend. How did she even find? Oh, the enemy was using her to confirm that, yeah, it's my time to die. And I remember that day I went home, I put water in a bathtub, and I was ready to kill myself. And guess who calls me? My boyfriend at that time, who is my husband today. He calls my phone. I go out, I forget about everything. He calls me at the right time. Now I forgot about it. I went back home. I just have a normal back, because now I forgot about the pain, whatever I was going through. The next time again, guess what? I get I'm feeling suicidal. I've always felt suicidal. I told myself I'm going to buy rat and rat. I left the house with my money. I left my house. Guess what? As soon as I steps out, guess who again calls me? My boyfriend at that time, who is my husband today. You see, so every time I was about to do it, he would call me. I never told him anything. I never said anything to him. Even I'm sure today as he's listening, he's surprised. Like, what do you mean? You've attempted all this? Yeah, and he called me. And when he calls me, he will laugh with me. He'll talk to me, and I'll completely forget about the issue. You see, so sometimes pray for your children, because you don't know what they're going through. It could be maybe it was a spiritual attack. It could be maybe it's the enemy that want to eliminate me. But God could not allow that to happen. God could not allow me to die at that time. So every time he called, I used to ask myself, why is this guy always calling me at the right time? Why is he always calling me? And God did not allow me to switch off my phone, because maybe if I switch off my phone, I could have done it. You see, so every time I ended up going to kill myself. People used to, there are people who they don't like themselves. There are people who hate themselves, and there are many out there. And that's why I decided that, what, I'm going to step up. I'm going to speak so I can empower a woman who feel like you're not beautiful enough, who feel like you're not worth living. You are worth living. So I grew up like that, like don't liking myself, don't, I felt like I'm not good enough. So even when I was growing up, if you liked me as a boy, I won't be interested, because I felt like you're even lying, because as myself, I don't even feel I'm pretty. I never felt like I'm good enough. So yeah, that's the untold story about me. So yeah, attempted suicide 3 times, but God did not allow me to do it. And that, why am I telling you this story? I'm not telling this story so people can know me, or I don't know. But the reason I'm telling this story is because I know there's a mother watching me. There's somebody watching me, has a young daughter. As I was growing up, I was young. My mom didn't know what was going through my head. And maybe it's the prayer that kept me going. Maybe it's the love of God that kept me going. Pray for your children. Pray for them. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know how they feel within themselves. You don't know maybe how the people make them feel out there. But keep on praying for them. Keep on equipping them. Because if it was not for God that loves me so much, I wouldn't be here by now. And that's why I'm stepping out with every untold story, telling mothers, telling parents, you know what, your children are going through things that you don't understand, that you might not even think that they're going through. So it's a high time just to pray for them, anoint them, because sometimes we go through neglect. We go through rejection. You know, my time when we were growing up in UK, being an African was something not nice. You were hated for being an African. People will call you names because of your skin color. People will call you name because of your accent. People will do things, and we went through so much in school. You understand? But until now, you have to be tough to fit in, and then they'll be scared of you. You know, as growing up as an African, it was not an easy thing. And I'm sure right now it's just because, you know, even though, you know, we're intermarrying now, we're intermarrying in this country. But when I was being raised here, it was not easy at all. It was not easy. So I kind of, and I remember in school, I had this teacher. This teacher was so cruel. This teacher was so bad. And this teacher is not here in UK, but in Kenya. And this teacher, I came to realize that he even knew my parents. He knew our background. He was from the same village. And but I was in this boarding school. But every time he gets to where I am, where I was sitting, he will call me names. He will tell me, look at you, you're a thug, you thug. And I used to be like, what is a thug? In my head, I don't even know the meaning of the word. But this guy, this teacher always called me a thug. And I'm like, what is the meaning of this word? So one day I Googled and I'm like, oh my God, is this what this guy has been calling me all this time? I'm not even done anything wrong. But every time he gets to where I am, he will call me names. He will mistreat me. Remember, this is Kenya, so you cannot talk to anybody because you can be abused in Kenya anyhow. So until one of the friends that we used to be in school, I was like, no, this guy, the way he's talking to me, I don't like it. So he told me, do you know who that guy is? I said, no, I don't know him. He said, that guy is so and so. For the purpose of security, I won't even mention it. He said, this guy is from this, is so and so. I'm like, what? What is that? Why he hates me that much? So yeah, pray for your children. Maybe in school they're going through hard time. They're going through bullying. They're going through. I had a friend who I was talking the other day. She was telling me she didn't want to go to her exam. And I'm like, why do you want to go to your exam? You're the most cleverest girl in the world. She said that the teacher told her that why are you even here? You're going to fail. So she believes she's going to fail. So she didn't want to go to the exam. We go through so many things that we might not tell people. We might not tell our parents. But I don't know why God has given me this bonus to step out and tell guys, you know, pray for your children, pray for your family, pray for your kids, even as much as they're grown, you know, as young as they are. Maybe in school they're being called names. You don't know. They're being bullied. They won't tell you. So I grew up knowing that I'm not pretty, I'm not beautiful. The other thing, people don't know that I never wanted to be a pastor. That this calling is God made. Is God made? Let me tell you, I used to purposely backslide. And that's why I said this is the untold story, the untold truth about me. So I used to love God. Then it gets to a point where I'll purposely backslide because I knew God is about to do something. I knew God hates sin. I knew God doesn't like sinners. So I remember very well one time I got drunk and I walked in a pub and I looked on God. I said, God, now you cannot use me. Look at where I am. And that's what the enemy does. He wants to delay us. He wants to delay our purpose. He wants to delay. So I remember I looked up and said, God, look at where I am. I'm drunk. You can't use me. Remember, you don't use sinners. You don't use this kind of people. Because I was trying to escape. I was trying to be a Jonah, trying to escape from the calling of God. Until I came to a place that, right, this guy is not going to change his mind. This God is not going to change his mind. So I might as well just comply with this calling, comply with what he's saying, and maybe things will get better. So I never, ever dreamt of being a pastor or a pastor's wife. That was never in my mind, or I never wanted to do that, you know. So yeah, so my dream in life was to be a secular artist. I loved music, I loved dancing. So in me growing, I knew I'm going to be this top secular artist, and that's who I wanted to be. A model or an artist. I wanted to be a songwriter, but I sing not according to, you know, the word of God. But you know, when God has called you, it doesn't matter where you go. It doesn't matter how long you run. You can run, you can go wherever you want to go, but you always come back. So I felt like God was after me. As much as running away from him, he was chasing after me. I remember even church, I never used to like church. I went to church because my parents told me. And that's so sometimes pray for your kids, for God to give them the revelation, the understanding of the word. Right now, nobody can tell me otherwise. Nobody can tell me otherwise. Why? Because I know that God is real. Because I know that there is a God in heaven. So wherever you are, always pray for one another. Maybe you're a woman, you're watching. Empower each other as a woman. It's time to empower each other. Women will go through so much. Women will go through so many things. You know, there's girls who grow up knowing that they're not beautiful, and they end up knowing that they're not beautiful, and they'll never marry because somebody told them they're not beautiful. Me, nobody told me that I'm not beautiful, but I grew up knowing, like, look at me, I'm not worthy. But today, try and tell me that I'm not beautiful. I will tell you, it's you and your whole nation that it's not beautiful. But for me, I'm beautiful. I know I'm beautiful and wonderfully made. Because right now, when you're free, when you know the truth, you'll not allow things like that to affect you. You know, right now, if you tell me that, oh, your accent is not good, I'll laugh at you and tell me, take me to school and make me a better person. Because why? I've known the truth. It's not being arrogant, but you know, you have to fight back. You have to fight back. But when you become weak, those words will eat you up. You understand? You will eat you up. So yeah, I grew up like that. And to be honest, even me, I look at myself, I'm like, I'm surprised I'm still alive. I'm surprised I'm still alive. Because the moment, how many times I've tempted to kill myself. I remember one time I saw a train and I wanted to throw myself. But then my friend came, started talking to me. I'm like, why every time I want to do this, somebody talks to me? Why? Why can't they just let me go? But the thing is, I cannot tell you the exact thing that I was going through that will make me want to take my life. Because number one, my parents gave me good life. I never lacked food. I never lacked money. I never lacked anything. So it was just a spirit that would just enter me and say, go and kill yourself. You know, it would just enter my soul, in my spirit, and say, go and kill yourself. You understand? So let us pray, hold each other, and I know you shall be blessed. I hope my story, my Untold story, has empowered you. I hope it will equip you. I hope it will help you to understand your children better, even to pray for me in a different way. Because this awareness is to empower each other, is to equip each other, is to hold each other, because I know when we are together we can make it. Yeah, I know we can make it when we are together. So I know God will surely bless you. I'm glad you tuned in today. I'm glad you are blessed. Please share this with somebody. Please like our video. And maybe you're there, you're like, oh my God, you know, you're going through the same issue. You're going through maybe you don't like something about your body and you just hate yourself. Maybe you don't like something about you, so you feel like you're not worthy. I want you to get in touch and let's talk about this. Let's talk about it. You know, I want you to get in touch. We talk. You know, there's nothing this world I've not seen. There's nothing this I've not been through. I've been through so much. It's just the right time is not yet for me to speak out everything. But every time God allows me, I will be speaking to you guys about the things that God has taken me through and how I've come out victorious. Because, you know, I've come up victorious. I've escaped so many deaths. I've escaped so many deaths, so many of them, so many of them. But it's by God's grace that I'm still standing. It's by God's glory that I'm still standing. Yeah. So continue praying for each other. I remember one time, as you all know, this awareness is about drugs, alcohol, and gang. We're trying to bring this to an end, especially their mothers who are in pain. So I was into this thing. I smoked every day. You know, that was my lifestyle. I drink every day. That was my life. That was me. And I remember one time now, you know, when you don't have this thing, you will take from anybody. Or if someone tell me, oh, I have in my house, let's go. You will go. When you're in that position, you trust anybody. You speak to anybody. And that's when you see all these people, they become friends. So one time I think I was with my friend and we met this guy and he's like, oh yeah, we knew him, but not that knowing him that much. So he was like, let's go to my house. I have some in my house. So wow, you're addicted. You want some. You do anything to get it. Like in terms of you walk anywhere to go and get it. So I went there. So I'm ready to have it. Let's smoke it. But this guy didn't even have it. He was lying to us. So we went there. He gave us porridge. We drank porridge. Okay. I was like, this is nice. I've not had porridge for some time. So we're like, okay, where is the thing? Let's smoke it. It's like, oh, it's in my other house. Let's go. So we went. So once we went there, this guy started talking, telling me, because my friend now went to the shop. He's like, I'm a genie. I can give you whatever you want in life. I'm like, clearly heard God say, don't look at him in his eyes. Look down and just find a way of running away from this place. The word genie to me, it means, I don't know what it means to you, but to me, genie is something else. So I'm like, God, no, no. And prior to that, my mom had a dream. Anyway, let me finish. So I looked down. God told me, look down. Don't look him directly in his eyes. Look down and make sure you get out of this house as soon as possible. So I looked down. I'm like, I need to go to the shop quickly. I left. I went to the shop. I don't know how I got out of it. I don't know. But I said, I'm going to the shop. Opposite, there was a bus stop. I got the bus. I went home. My friend, I don't know why God told me not to look at his eyes. Maybe I'll look his eyes. Something crazy could have happened. Because he said he'll give me anything. And in my head, I was like, maybe money. But I was like, God, is Shindwe. What is this? No, I refuse in Jesus' name. Because I was taught that, no, there is no other God. The only God you know is the Most High God, Jehovah God. So prior to, so I went home shaking. I've never had this before. I've never heard about witchcraft before. This is my first time. So I go home. I'm like, Mom, guys, guess what? Guess what happened to me? Guess what my friend told me? And then now she tells me she had a dream prior that one of his child was giving to the end to that one of his child. She couldn't see the child's face. That one of her child was giving her a sacrifice to the enemy to gain money. She woke up and prayed. So my prayer, sometimes God visits our parents, visits our mentors. Now my mom, and that's what like, oh my God, then it could have happened. I was not strong in Christ. I was not strong. Maybe if she did not pray, maybe God did not, God did not allow me to go that way because he didn't want my destiny to go that way. So for God to visit my mom at night and say, I'm in a dream. My mom woke up and she prayed against it. She said, none of my children will give me as a sacrifice for the sake of money. And remember, at that point, when he told me I'm a genie, the first thing came in my head was money. Remember, I want drugs. What else do you want? Money. We're all chasing money. All these young people out there, they're chasing money. But something told me, don't look at his eyes. Look down. And when my mom told me that, I knew that it was the prayer of my mother that rescued my soul, that rescued me. And from that time, I never went to anybody's house. I don't go to people's house anyhow. It doesn't matter what you're calling me for. I will not, unless I know you, Pastor, and I pray about it. I don't go to people's house anyhow. Pray for your children. You don't know what is ahead of them. You don't know what the enemy is planning for them. Yeah. So I know you are blessed. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Yeah, this is Real Talk Show. If you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe. Subscribe. Some people, they don't understand when I say subscribe. Subscribe is a red. You see next to you see a red. It's a red thing that says subscribe. It's just there on a corner. Just hit it. When it goes gray, that means you have subscribed. When it's still red, that means you haven't subscribed. Maybe you're watching me by your TV. You can, you can just go on your, maybe you have a YouTube channel, go to your phone, just subscribe it. And then there's a bell. There's a bell at the top. Click that bell. So every time, like now, if I'm live, it will tell you, let's watch. So God bless you so much. I hope my Untold story has inspired you. These are stories that I've never told anybody. I've not shared anywhere. And I'll continue revealing myself to you guys so you can be blessed, so you can continue praying for your children, so you can continue empowering each other. So until next time, I love you. Barakatena. God bless you.